Greetings from me, Peter Bradshaw of The Guardian, and once again welcome to this YouTube film review channel, the relatable underdog of film review channels, piquing your attention and snaring your heart. And before we lube up for another round of piercing insights, I'm delighted to say that I'm this week in a new podcast, A Matter of Life and Film, with the very cool movie writer Emilia Rolovich, and we are talking about the distinctively sensual pleasure of being scared at the movies and the worrying absence of that pleasure in the new Exorcist sequel. Details are below. Here's a taster.
I kind of staggered out of the cineworld, almost suffering from a kind of metaphysical meltdown.
I think you're being a lot kinder than I'm going to be.
Is it possible to be really scared anymore?
Is there any streaming TV phenomenon that we are all more definitively over than The Crown, whose 6th and final season has dropped on Netflix? Screenwriter Peter Morgan's gigantic but conceptually simple show about the royals from Princess Elizabeth after the war onwards grew out of his screenplay for the film The Queen, about the aftermath of Diana's death, and his 2013 stage play The Audience, imagining the Queen's weekly conversations with all prime ministers from Churchill to Cameron. This 6th season has had awful reviews, although it's really no different from any previous series. It's just that we're all bored with it, and as the soap opera history gets nearer and nearer to the present day, with more and more people left alive who knew what actually happened, there are louder and louder objections to the silly inventions and inaccuracies, and also a creeping suspicion that it was, well, always ridiculously made up.
Interest in the princess's private life is unlikely to die down anytime soon.
The press are on our tails constantly.
All one wants is for that girl to find peace.
Mummy, you okay?
I'm okay. It's just... it has all been a bit mad recently.
And yet, there is one aspect of The Crown which right now really is better. And I don't mean the portrayal of the late Queen herself, who has been played at successive stages by Claire Foy, Olivia Colman and Imelda Staunton. Of these, Foy was the best because the other two just showed a somewhat grumpy and undemonstrative, affronted old lady. And none of these three made the role come alive the way Helen Mirren made it come alive in The Queen. The genuinely excellent performance in the new Crown season, which isn't getting the critical love because of people's Crown fatigue and retrospective Crown embarrassment, is Elizabeth Debicki's eerily brilliant portrayal of Princess Diana. Now, I thought Emma Corrin was really good as the young Diana in earlier episodes, but Debicki is scarily exact. Her passionate exchanges with Dominic West as Prince Charles, as he was then, as the relationship broke down, and her later more ambiguous scenes with Dodi Fayed, played by Khalid Abdullah, have an insinuating power because they return the crown to its earlier inviolable and uncheckable state. They involve people who are either dead or resolute in their royal determination never to comment. These scenes may be entirely nonsensical as others, and yet they are composed with intelligence and poise, and they are among the best that Peter Morgan has ever written. And for those of us who actually remember that staggering week in British public life in 1997, between Diana's death and her funeral, that delirious feeling of living within a Truman Show soap opera, Elizabeth Debicki's performance is a great pleasure. That's it. Please give this vlog a like and a share on your socials. Please subscribe and leave a comment to say that you've done so, and also say what you've been enjoying right now at the cinema. Please check out my author page at The Guardian, and please give a listen to A Matter of Life and Film. And please, oh please, buy my book, The Films That Made Me, an edited selection of my essays and reviews for The Guardian. See you next week.